Franchise agreements are generally long-term contracts, so it's not easy to get out of them if it doesn't work out. So you're looking at usually a tenure of between 5 and 10 years. If it turns out that it wasn't for them, pretty much a franchisee's only option is maybe to negotiate with the franchisor to try and get out. Alternatively, they could try and sell the business. So that's another avenue for exit. And the franchising code and the franchise agreement itself would govern the process for a sale, and a franchisor can't unreasonably withhold consent to a franchisee selling its business. Yes, franchisor can terminate. There are certain circumstances, about 8 circumstances in which a franchisor under the code can immediately terminate a franchisee. Those circumstances are usually quite serious circumstances, like insolvency of the franchisee, or if the franchisee has abandoned the business or committed fraud. And then the only other way, short of there being other specific provisions in the franchise agreement, is if the franchisee is in breach of the franchise agreement. That would require the franchisor to give the franchisee a notice of how they're in breach and give them a reasonable opportunity to remedy. And if the franchisee does not remedy within that time frame, then the franchisor would be free to terminate. There's usually not reciprocal rights given to franchisees to terminate on the ground of franchisor breach, but there are other common law remedies available to franchisees in those circumstances. Pretty much not doing their research at the outset, due diligence, finding out enough information and not getting the professional advice, because most of the franchisees I've seen that at the other end that are wanting to get out or have issues with the franchisor didn't understand what they were getting themselves into, didn't understand the terms of the franchise agreement. So when the dispute or issues arose, it came as a complete surprise, and some of these things could have been dealt with at an early stage and negotiated into franchise agreement or dealt with at the outset. Or even it could have been prevented. The franchisee, with having had proper advice, may not have gone into the venture in the first instance.